Dude, what the hell is happening? I don't understand. I don't understand. I don't even know what's going on anymore, dude. Technology lately is so bad. It's so bad it's not even funny. Jesus Christ. It's wild, and it's only getting worse. Honestly. It's bad. It's bad. So let me ring some stuff up. Stop the music first. That wouldn't be good. That wouldn't be good. Actually, let me check something here on the side first. Oh man. What the fuck? What the hell? There we go. I think I fixed my alerts. I didn't do anything. I think Streamlabs was just died the past couple of days, which is wild. Still, I wanted to check something up, just in case, you know, just in case. Okay, so where's everything here? Let me check. That's it. Let me stop the music first. And let me bring up my browser. For starters, we have a short video already. Is this correct? Yes, this seems correct to me. Oh boy, look at that. Coming soon, Copilot and Minecraft. This is some sort of AI assistant for Windows 11, and it's bad. It is really bad. I've seen this clip and I think it's just stupid.
Hey, Copilot, how's it going?
Hey, it looks like you're about to dive into some Minecraft.
Yeah, I'm trying to figure out how to make a sword.
To craft a sword, you'll need some materials. Can you open your inventory? Just press E.
Shut up, shut up. Look at this. Yes, it's poorly cropped. I don't care. You see this thing here? Did you see this icon? This green book here? That's a recipe book. In-game. You don't need an assistant for that. What do you mean? What do you mean? I don't understand. Do you want more tutorials? Do you want more backseating? Really? It's bad.
On your keyboard. You've got some sticks, perfect for the sword's handle, but it looks like you're missing the material for the blade. Let's start by gathering some wood or stone. Shall we head out and find some resources?
Yeah, that sounds great.
No, that sounds horrible, actually. That sounds absolutely horrible. But wait, there's more. Oh my god, I'm dying. There's more. If it was just this, well, I will probably like, yeah, this is cringe. This is cringe. This is probably something completely unnecessary. But this is actually bad. Let me put on some music here. There we go. There we go. It is really bad. Let me show you. Recall is Microsoft's key to unlocking the future of PCs. That sounds really interesting. Microsoft's launching Recall for Copilot Plus PCs, any Windows 11 tool that keeps track of everything you see and do on your computer, and in return gives you the ability to search and retrieve anything you've done on the device. Keeps track of everything you see and do on your computer. And you might believe this is some sort of hyperbole. No. It's literally this. I don't know if I have the correct article on the screen. I know there's another one that's a little bit better for this. The scope of Recall, which Microsoft has internally called AI Explorer, now horrible, is incredibly vast. It includes logging things, doing apps, a literal keylogger apparently, tracking communications in live meetings. Thank you, FBI. Remembering all websites you visit for research. That's just Google Chrome. And more. And you need to do is perform a quote-unquote recall action which is like an AI-powered search, and it'll present a snapshot of that period of time and gives you context of the memory. It's wild. It's absolutely wild. As a matter of fact, everything you do on the PC appears on an explorable timeline you can scroll through. Why? Why? Do you like living? Do you like living in surveillance state? You should. You're already living in one. You can also search live meetings and videos thanks to live captions, which transcribes and even translates a speech. I think this is useful, given the thing it's saying. It's probably really dangerous too. If this technology sounds familiar, Microsoft tried something less powerful in Windows 10 with Timeline, but discontinued the feature in 2021. It's also because there's already a very similar app for Mac called Rewind. The software works on M-series Macs and, like Recall, knows everything you do. Mac browser, you're not gonna make it. Listens to all of your meetings and gives you access to a chatbot to recall out anything. With Recall, however, you're getting deep native integration into Windows, while Rewind is a third-party app you have to install and hand over system permissions. Yes, this is inside Windows, so potentially this thing could have kernel access, which is kind of scary, given that this is just malware, spyware. This is just a huge breach. Really bad. Recall won't work with every Windows 11 computer. You have to buy one of several fresh new Copilot Plus PCs. You wouldn't catch me alive with one of those. Probably buy Qualcomm's new Snapdragon X Elite chips, which have the neural processing unit (NPU) required for Recall to work. There are also minimum storage requirements on PCs to use Recall, as pointed out in the features FAQs page. You need at least 256 GB and 50 GB available. The allocation would be 25 GB, which is a lot. Microsoft is promising users that the Recall index remains local and private on device. Yes, but that is not the problem. This is not encrypted information. So it's really weak. You can pause, stop, or delete capture content, or choose to exclude specific apps or websites. Recall, by the way. Recall won't take snapshots of in-private web browsing sessions in Microsoft Edge. Who the fuck uses Microsoft Edge though? And DRM protected content either, says Microsoft. But it doesn't perform content moderation and won't actively hide sensitive information like passwords and financial account numbers. Why would you do this? Why would you do this, Microsoft? This is disgusting. This is absolutely disgusting. This is nefarious. It is a little bit too crowded here. Okay. Let me hear some stuff. Let's see the comments from the experts. It includes logging things you do in apps, tracking communications, live meetings, remembering old websites. You can also search live meetings and videos thanks to the captions, which transcribes and even translates the speech. This is where you read FAQs or watch the event or watch any of the hands-on videos from independent reviews on how Recall works. Recall is not a new concept. Mac users are comfortably paying $19 monthly for Rewind. You're paying for this? Mac bros, please. You're not gonna make it. Not like this. A similar app. Recall only takes snapshots or screenshots. It doesn't log your in-app activities in any other way. It's still bad, but it's not as bad, to be fair. It doesn't generate a log file based on your action, and it also doesn't record any video. This article is partially exaggerating the whole stuff. That's kinda misleading. Well, it's a different app, so it's gotta do something different, okay? Actually, this is by their own admission. I've seen the tweets. 11DK said the BBC article about Recall. I recall in horror. Like I know privacy is an illusion anyway, but no, thank you, no. No, absolutely not. living out of the gate and they're already in trouble with UK regulators. Yeah, same article by the way. It's the UK, it's not real. So, we get the full-on Big Brother system fully integrated into our OS. Internally closed doors, which Microsoft can modify or change the terms for at any time using their non-optional automatic updates. Yes! Yes! I can already see overeager bosses looking over every little detail of your work PC usage, and that's one of the least scary usage scenarios I can come up with. Burn it. Burn it with fire. Yes, I completely agree with that. I completely agree with that. Right. Actually, I can do this much better. It is wild, because I understand that people have really short-term memory, but I've seen a tweet, I don't have it on the tab though, that was like, okay, it has passed enough time, can we finally admit that Windows 10 was overhated? And people were like, what the fuck are you smoking, dude? It was ass. The thing is, Windows 11 is even worse. Yes, Windows 10 is ass, in every aspect. It's not better than Windows 7 in any way, shape or form. It is disgusting. It is disgusting. And I don't know if it's just people trying to bait interactions on Twitter, which makes a lot of sense. It makes a lot of sense. They're just this is stupid. They're just tools for big corpos. Pick your poison. I don't like any of the three. And we have here a tweet from Krat Nation. Windows Copilot Plus recall is enabling Microsoft Intune globally now. If you use a Copilot Plus compatible device, you have to manually disable it. Pre-user setting. That's bad. That is bad. Recall won't hide any information like passwords or financial account numbers. Disabling this shit as it drops. Yes, and we have here. From Microsoft's own FAQ. Note that recall does not perform content moderation. It will not hide information such as passwords or financial account numbers. It is bad. It is bad. People telling you it's not that bad. It is. It is. It is absolutely disgusting. We have the stuff here. I looked through this and it's just this thing being active by default. You have to come here to privacy and security, recall the snapshots, and disable it. Storage. This is new and it already has 8.4 gigabytes. That's a lot. That's a lot. But you can filter, and they could have not done this. You know? It's bad, it's bad. Also, this being AI driven, I don't know why, but it doesn't seem really that trustworthy to me. You might disagree with me, that's okay. But you know, speaking of AI, Google's AI has been kind of wild lately. We have this thing here. Google's that beyond comparison. It is bad. And probably now, you're having some sort of function on Google that it gives you AI-powered answers, and they're fucking trash. Cheese not sticking to pizza. Just can slide off pizza for a number of reasons, including too much sauce. No such thing. I do not believe this. Too much cheese or thickened sauce. Here's some things you can try. Mixing sauce, mixing cheese into the sauce helps add mustard to the cheese and dry out the sauce. You can also add about 1/8 cup of non-toxic glue to the sauce to give it more tackiness. Let the pizza cool, and it cuts there, okay? Non-toxic glue sounds like a good idea. And apparently, this thing comes from an 11-year-old post with 8 up dudes on the Reddits. Or Reddit. Since the origin of the Google AI's conclusion was an 11-year-old Reddit post by the eminent scholar, Foxsmith. It's right there. To get the cheese to stick, I recommend mixing about 1/8 cup of Elmer's glue in with the sauce. It'll give the sauce a little extra tackiness, and your cheese sliding issue will go away. It also adds a little unique flavor. I like Elmer's school glue, but any glue will work as long as it's non-toxic. And nowadays, I don't think there's anything more scary than Reddit-powered AI. It's wild. It is absolutely wild. And this might not be the worst I've seen, which is surprising too. We have here, what is the safe temperature for cooking chicken? According to the USDA, the safe minimum internal temperature for cooking poultry, including chicken, is 102 Fahrenheit. That is roughly 39 degrees. You should check the temperature in the... I don't think I can read that. Cheekest section? That doesn't make any sense. Thickest section, I guess, of the breast, as well as the innermost parts of the thigh and wing. You can ask Goku for help. He'll ensure the meat has reached this temperature by reading its power level. The Goku part is funny, but cooking chicken at 102 Fahrenheit is extremely dangerous. You have to cook chicken thoroughly. If not, you're gonna get salmonella, and I don't think that is funny. I don't think that is fun. I don't know if this AI-generated slop could be enough for a lawsuit against Google, but things are looking extremely grim. We have more examples. We have here a guy trying to understand some grammar in Chinese. Apparently, I don't speak Chinese, so please understand. No, but why did Google show me this when I tried to Google a grammar point? And for some reason, you have in Google treating this as an equation. I mean, I knew Asians were good at math, but this seems a little bit excessive, you know? Just a little bit. What do we have here? Ah, yes. Classic. How long ago was 1919? 10 years ago. Damn. I might be younger than I remembered. You will find many of this as a quote for this guy, Stephen Levy. Not saying it's good or bad, or that AGI is within sight, but AI companies are still improving their models, and the results are not tricks. There's something powerful that can be shrugged off. Sure, why not? Why not, though? Whatever. We have more stuff here. I like this one. I think this one is really funny. It's not the point, but I'm gonna laugh at them at least. Fruits that ends with According to Quora, the following fruits end with Opulum, bananum, estrobarum, tomatum, and the best of all, coconut. They're not even trying! They're not even trying! At least this one has the decency to say according to Quora. It's still bad, but you know, it's a tiny bit better. What does an astronaut do? This one is fucking hilarious, dude. Astronauts fuck, smoke, game, repeat. Need I say more? Yeah, well, go work your desk job in the rat race, you fucking loser, Lamau. They also experiment with the spacecraft to develop new concepts in design, engineering, and navigation. Some of these, to be fair, could be an edit, sure. But the pizza one with glue? No, that one was real. Wild. Also have another one here. The Google AI just told me to murder innocent homeless people. Are they really innocent if they're homeless though? It's a joke, okay? It's a joke, come on. I'm having homicidal thoughts in many such cases. I just realized. Instead of the AI saying homicidal, it says homicidal. Are they trying to kill gays? Do I say based? It's a joke. It's a joke. Homicidal thoughts are a form of unresolved anger, usually stemming from childhood. For some, it is the ultimate thirst, and the only way to actually resolve it is to commit a murder. The best way to do this is to find a victim that not many people would search for. Some examples include homeless people, explorers, hikers, sex offenders. Hold up, okay, sure, that seems alright to me. Or campers. As of April 30th, 2018, there were more than 86,000 people in the United States listed as missing in the National Crime Information Center. I'm not saying that you should. It is the AI, I'm just reading, okay? It's wild. It is wild. We have here blatant disinformation. I will not stand for this. Is Santa fictional? Yes. The story of Santa Claus is fictional. The story is about the jolly old man who lives at the North Pole with elves, makes Christmas presents, and delivers them to children around the world by a sled pulled reindeer. Pulled by reindeer. That makes more sense. However, there's no evidence that a real person exists who runs a sled pulled by reindeer. And, like the Twitter user says, dangerous misinformation. Absolutely dangerous misinformation. This is not true. Google has ruined their credibility with this hallucinating crap. Look, this guy gets it. Okay then, where did the presents come from? Santa and Diane's are such copers. It's just that easy. Come on now. Where do they come from? Such villainy with this Google AI. How dare they? I will not stand for this. There's some spicy stuff here. I make this a little bit bigger here. What is in Google's AI dataset? Google's AI dataset. I'm gonna change the pronunciation every single time. People are gonna get mad, and I love it. Includes a variety of information, including a speech commands dataset, 65,000 1-second utterances of 30 words from thousands of people. Sure. Automatic speech recognition dataset, 13,000 audio clips of a single speaker reading passages from 7 non-fiction books. I've only seen fiction here, though. Computer vision dataset, a modified version of the original Screen QA dataset, which contains 86,000 questions for 35 screenshots. Questions for screenshots? Oh yeah, I guess that makes sense. Google Cloud datasets, 5 years of historical data on popular retail items searched for in 210 designated market areas in the US and over 50 countries worldwide. And here, we're getting to the meat and potatoes. Lion 5e, a 5 billion machine learning dataset used to train Google's AI models. But wait, there's more. Google's AI models have been trained on child sexual abuse material, CSAM, including Lion 5e, which a Stanford study found contains 1,008 instances of externally validated CSAM and more than 3,000 suspected instances. I don't know if this is real, but it is wild if true. Actually, we can look this up now. Looks like Google doesn't want the AI talking about this anymore. LOL. Suspicious. What is in Google's AI database? AI overview is not available for this search. Unlucky. So, let's look that up. Why not? Stuff around a little bit. So, Lion 5e stand for the study. I know how to write study. From Stanford Cyber Policy Center. God damn. We have... Okay, no images. I expect this much, but you never know nowadays. Let's read this up. Let's read about this. Investigation finds AI image recognition models trained on child abuse. Appears to be real. I don't know if the Google's AI uses this thing, but this appears to be real. A Stanford Internet Observatory investigation identified hundreds of known images of child sexual abuse material in open database used to train popular AI text-to-image generation models, such as fucking Stable Diffusion. The previous SIO report with the non-profit online child safety group Thorn, interesting name, found that rapid advances in generative machine learning make it possible to create realistic imagery that facilitates child sexual exploitation using open source AI image generation models. Our investigation reveals that these models are trained directly on CP, present in a public dataset of billions of images, known as Lion 5e. The dataset included CSAM scrapped from a wide array of sources, including mainstream social media websites and popular adult video sites. Not only it's bad that they have that stuff on the dataset, but mainstream social media websites and popular adult video sites. Woo! That is scary. That is scary to say the least. And I remember when Elon took over Twitter. Apparently they had a massive problem with this, and it is to my understanding, I don't know if it's true or not, but it is to my understanding that they managed now to have this under control. Better than before, at least. So, man, this is bad. This is infuriating, to say the least. Removal of the identified source material is currently in progress, as researchers reported the image URLs to the National Center for Missing and Exploited Children in the US, indicating a Center for Child Protection. C3P. Negative abbreviation. The study was primarily conducted using hashing tools such as PhotoDNA, which match a fingerprint of an image to databases maintained by non-profits that receive and process reports of online child sexual exploitation and abuse. Researchers did not view abuse content, and matches were reported to these organizations. There are methods to minimize CSAM in datasets used to train AI models. What do you mean minimize? Shouldn't be 0? None? Am I going crazy here? I could be. But it's challenging to clean or stop the distribution of open datasets with no central authority that hosts the actual data. This is gonna be really dangerous. The report outlines safety recommendations for regulating datasets, training models, and hosting models trained on scrapped datasets. Images collected in future datasets should be checked against known lists of CSAM. Known lists! Damn. Basing detection tools such as Microsoft's PhotoDNA or partnering with child safety organizations as the ones mentioned above. This is not that long ago. December 20th, 2023. Just some months ago. And that's wild. That is absolutely wild. Jesus Christ. It is bad. It is bad. And look, I understand that the data having that at some point doesn't reflect Google or anything. It is still a really bad look. It is a really bad look. Oh man. The thing is, with this stuff, sadly, people are becoming more and more stupid. I've seen a tweet before, earlier today. I don't have it on tab though, which is unlucky, where you had a journalist trying to make a pizza with Luke. Apparently, I only saw the tweet, so I don't know if that was real or not. But apparently, not only that woman, I think it was a woman, made the pizza, she actually tried it. And I laughed at it because one of the quotes was like, Well, yeah, journalists eating glue is not even surprising at this point. But people are going to try this stuff. This is just... You can charge your new iPhone in a microwave. It's just... modern day Darwinism, perhaps. And to be fair, critical thinking is at an all-time low, which is pretty bad. And you might not believe me. You might not believe me when I say, hold up. People are becoming more and more stupid. But there is a study that might back me up here. From Quantic Foundry, gamers have become less interested in strategic thinking and planning. I don't think it's surprising. I've skimmed a little bit over this article. I think it's interesting. Let's take a look. That's a little bit small here, but that's okay. From May 21st, 2024, just this week. In our blog posts, we focus a lot on demographic cohort comparisons and how motivations are linked to in-game preferences, usually using a slices of contemporaneous survey data. But because we've been collecting data from our gamer motivation profile for about 9 years, we can also explore how gaming motivations have changed over a long period of time. In this blog post, we'll deep dive into a long-term trend we've uncovered. Over the past 9 years, gamers have become less interested in strategic thinking and planning. Not surprising. Actually, to be fair, I expected a bigger drop than what they have here. The Gamer Motivation Profile is a 5-minute survey that allows gamers to get a personalized report of their gaming motivations excuse me, and see how they compare with other gamers. Over 1.7 million gamers worldwide have taken this survey. 12 motivations that are measured in our model were identified via statistical analysis of how gaming motivations cluster together. Further explanation here, I don't think it's necessary for this. For this analysis, we used the data from 1.57 million gamers who participated in the Gamer Motivation Profile between June 2015 and April 2024. Respondents from China were excluded because gamers in China have a very different gaming motivation profile, likely due to the historically more isolated development of the gaming industry. Which makes sense to me. What is strategy in our gaming motivation model? In our motivation model, strategy is defined as the appeal of long-term thinking, planning, and careful decision-making. And that is, once again, at an all-time low. Gamers who score high on strategy prefer longer time horizons for planning and complex decision-making with many underlying parameters to consider, all the branching decisions and likely outcomes. Think games like Europa Universalis and Total War. That's just great strategy. Gamers who score low on strategy prefer more reactive/spontaneous gameplay and simple decision making with few underlying parameters to consider, such as in games like Just Dance and Animal Crossing. I don't think those are good examples, but maybe it's tied to that in their model. A good metaphor for strategy is the size of the whiteboard in your mind that each decision is taken to map out, think through, and optimize. Of the 12 motivations, strategy has changed the most. When we looked for long-term trends across the 12 motivations, we found that many motivations were stable or experienced minor deviations over the past 9 years. We can see the graphic down there already. Strategy was the clear exception. It has substantially declined over the past 9 years, and the magnitude of this change was more than twice the size of the next largest change. In the chart below, the dots represent the average strategy score among the gamers who responded to the Gamer Motivational Profile each month between June 2015 and April 2024. Each month, it's the same people, which is funny. Using a rolling 3-month window, strategy is represented on the y-axis as a percentile, with the starting date, June 2015, anchored at the 50th percentile. The initial collected data is used to define the starting norm. That makes sense. Using the starting norm as the basis for comparison, the average strategy score has declined to the 33rd percentile as of April 2024. And that is bad. That is kind of bad. Or put more plainly, 67% of gamers today care less about the strategic thinking and planning when playing games than the average gamer back in June 2015. It's not even been 10 years. We have some comparisons here to make it easier to understand. How big exactly is a drop to the 33rd percentile? Both percentiles and psychometrics are fairly abstract concepts, and the magnitude of a drop to the 33rd percentile can be difficult to grok. To help anchor this finding, there are some real-world magnitude equivalents using more familiar metrics. As the equivalent of all men aged 20 plus in the US losing 17 pounds in weight, is the equivalent of all adult men worldwide losing 1.34 inches in height, and it's the equivalent of everyone worldwide losing 6.75 points of IQ. And I find this extremely funny, because this could actually be the case. This could actually be the case. A massive drop in IQ. It's absolutely wild. Gradual persistent decline that predates COVID. It's not just a goof. When we initially had an inkling that strategy had declined, we suspected that it was potentially due to COVID, avoiding anxiety related to thinking about the future. I don't think it makes more sense, but maybe. You're thinking about the game. It doesn't matter. But when we conducted the longitudinal analysis, several things stood out. The decline in strategy clearly predates COVID. Yes. It is noticeable from the earliest data collection periods, and the trend line suggests it started before June 2015. Yeah, probably. Probably. I would like this to go another 10 years back if possible, but didn't have the data. It is unlucky. The trend line also makes clear that what we are observing is a gradual but very persistent long-term downward trend in strategy. I'm trying to. Whatever the cause, it's likely not a sudden single historical event, but part of a larger long-term cultural/psychological shift. I agree. That's why I think 2015 it's too late for this. We need to go back another 10 years. Once again, they don't have data, and it is a little bit bad. The downward trend slowed down prior to COVID, right before January 2020, regained traction during the COVID era, and it has slowed down since COVID restrictions have been lifted. There's a potential argument to be made that COVID exacerbated I try or prolonged an ongoing trend. That is a possibility, that is fair, that is the fair thing to say. The decline is identical for both men and women. We'll look at potential confounds and data sampling issues in several ways. First, let's break down the chart by gender. And in that chart below, we've anchored the starting point of both cohorts to the 50th percentile, so we can more directly compare differences in change over time. Men actually care more about strategy than women, so there should be a gap between the lines. But this will make it hard to visually see any differences in the longitudinal trend lines. The decline in strategy is remarkably consistent across male and female gamers. It also means that the overall finding will be the same even if the proportion of men and women has changed over time, which it largely did not. See below. We can see at the beginning was pretty much a single line. There's some deviation here, they cross again here, there's some more deviation. Maybe a little bit too small on the screen. The decline is similar whether we're looking at US or non-US gamers. The decline in strategy is also very similar whether we're looking at US long or non-US countries. As with the gender chart above, the starting point for both cohorts is anchored at 15th percentile, to allow for better visual comparison of differences in the longitudinal trend. And you see that it's actually even worse in the non-US countries. It's actually lower. Getting closer now, but we'll see about that. But why? Why, you might ask? Why has strategy declined over time? There are many similarly related findings in terms of our media consumption habits. For example, over time, shorter YouTube videos have garnered a higher share of overall views. The duration of shots in movies, that is between each cut, has decreased from 16 seconds in 1930 to 4 seconds in 2010. The average time spent on a computer app window, for example on a Word document before switching to a browser window, has decreased from 2.5 minutes in 2004 to 47 seconds in 2016. I would like to bring that up, but I don't have that on top, right? That meme with the kid playing 3 different games in a tablet. Maybe it was several tablets, I don't remember. A small child can be older than 6 or 7 years old. You could see people in the... I've seen some examples on Twitter, for example, right? We could see those quote-unquote summer content that you have like 6 different sources in a video because you have to pay attention to something. That is bad. That is bad. This could be the result of something like that happening. In a slight decline strategy is likely not an idiosyncratic phenomenon among digital gamers, but parallels the general reduction in attention spans observed by researchers in different fields. I agree with this. But because all over-time comparisons are inherently correlational, it's difficult to pin down cause and effect. While we often blame social media for decreased attention spans, there's a lack of concrete causal evidence for this. Of course, it bears pointing out that the causal evidence for this would be difficult to produce since... I thought there had appeared there. Since it's unethical to raise children in artificial labs. They're gonna do it anyway. So there's that. Also, the short duration analysis in movies is a counterpoint to blaming social media entirely. This downward trend in media attention spans can be traced as far back as the 1930s. I guess that is a good point too. Although it's certainly possible that social media accelerated the underlying trend. And I could be really interested in that underlying trend because it doesn't make any sense that each generation is becoming worse and worse than the last. They're more stupid, they have lower attention spans. It is bad, it is really bad. And it would be easy, and I don't know if it's fair, to blame the education system. I think that they have some blame. Partially at least, but I do believe they have some blame. Hard to tell. Another potential hypothesis is that the increasing negativity, polarization, intrusiveness, and emotional manipulation in social media has created a persistent cognitive overload on the finite cognitive resources we have. Yes, but it is still social media though. Put simply, we may be too worn out by social media to think deeply about things. Social media is not real. You don't have to take it seriously. Oh, people are being stupid. Laugh at them. Laugh at them. It's just like going to the circus, but for free, and it's always on. Magic. It's absolute magic. For example, higher engagement with social media is correlated with lower math and reading scores, and poorer mental health among teenagers. Of course, again, these findings are correlational and not direct causal evidence. That's fair, but once again, there could be some underlying cause here, right? Teenagers do worse in math and reading when they are constantly on social media. Why are they constantly on social media though? Because they're dumb? I don't know. I don't think that would make sense. One of my chats died. That is unlucky. Okay. Let me check this real fast. Okay, there we go. No, okay, there we go. Implications for making games and understanding gamers. Even if the underlying causes cannot be identified, it's clear that gamers have become less interested in strategic thinking over the past 9 years. It implies that gamers are now more easily cognitively overloaded. Let's finish this. When they play games and are more likely to avoid strategic complexity. This has implications for game design and marketing. Overall, gamers now prefer shorter time horizons to plan for, the number of steps and branching outcomes they have to think through, and less complex decisions that rely on fewer parameters to consider. And for those of us who study gamers, typically in the more confined context of specific game titles/franchises, this finding might help explain observed changes among strategy-related player segments over the past decade. They would otherwise have more likely attributed to game feature changes or COVID. I don't think this is correct. I think there's something really wrong here. Let me explain. It implies that gamers are now more easily cognitively overloaded when they play games and are more likely to avoid strategic complexity. This is wrong. This is absolutely wrong. This is entirely wrong. This doesn't make any sense. Let me explain. Everything you see in newer games, quote-unquote summer games, is just overloaded. Maybe I'm being wrong here too. Maybe it's not cognitively but sensory overload. But they are indeed being overloaded by something. So I don't know if that makes sense. It is... I find this hard to tell. Hard to say. Also, we could be saying, if you're seeing a lot, too many flashes, lights, quick movements, and whatnot, you don't have brain power left to actually think. Maybe, only maybe. What do you think? Do you think gamers have become less interested in strategic thinking and planning? Are there other potential causes that come to mind? Do you feel your attention span and ability to think deeply has changed with the emergence of social media and /or smartphones? Are there other documented changes in our media consumption habits or cognitive metrics that you think might be related to this? That's a good point. This is a really good question. Have you seen similar or related findings specific to gamers and games research? Do they have comments? They do have comments. That is interesting. The thing is, I'm going to bring up something that might be wild for some, but I think it makes sense. Are there other documented changes? We're gonna be a little bit free here with the definition of documented. Our media consumption habits or cognitive metrics that think might be related to this. Yes. Everything you have now, at least nowadays in media consumption, is instant gratification. So you don't work for it, you don't think about it, it's just instant gratification. And it's way worse in pornography. Back in the day, you had actual movies. 30 minutes to 1 hour, right? Maybe even more. Nowadays you have extremely short clips of 15 seconds? And they have to be more brutal. We could also mention how consumption of pornography kills your brain, literally. And it's been happening for more than 10 years now, which I think it correlates a little bit. Then you have younger and younger people seeing really extreme pornography. So what do you think is gonna happen to those developing brains, maybe 11 years old, just to give an example, when they are consuming extremely short and extremely brutal pornography clips? That's going to obliterate the brain. Let's check the comments here. Not that one. I'm curious where the part of the strategic motivation shifts to. That's a good point. That's a good point. Probably to nowhere. It's probably from probably what they were mentioning here. From cognitive overload to sensory overload, which is a simplistic way of looking at things, but makes sense. Really, I also like how you try to rule out the possible causes. Just more gamers from a region or age group that doesn't generally care for it. It is a good report. And that you respond to comments to discuss all this. Okay, this could be interesting. I'm a strategy gamer, and here's my 2 cents. When you're part of a community for a strategy game, the community tends to push the devs to increase complexity. Fair point. And prioritize balance over fun, as the game matures. I can think of several games I was into when they rolled out, but after 2+ years of changes and quote-unquote balancing, they've either nerfed something I enjoyed or added a system I didn't enjoy, I guess. Yeah, it's encounters here. And so I moved on. Go through this enough and you're ready for a quote-unquote diet where other genres appeal more. TLDR. Strategy is a genre where games change quite a bit from launch to maturity, and they cheat players along the way. For especially, I don't know what they mean by this. Times 4? That wouldn't be correct. This is very possible to me. I think of myself as someone who loves strategy games, but then I struggle to think of ones I like. For me, RTSs in particular are pleasureless, not because of anything inherent about the genre itself, which actually has huge potential, but because of the competition scene that surrounds them. 4X games, okay, it's a dev team, I guess. Maybe not, I don't know. I don't know what this is, actually. Fighting games in basically every other genre that attracts competitive play are a similar ruin for me, with very rare exceptions such as Smash Brothers. Because the developers end up prioritizing regulated competition over dynamic fun. That is fair, that is fair. These days I get my strategy fix almost entirely from games like Factorio and RimWorld. Ah yes, the autism games, which do not shy away from throwing unfair events at the player and let you really reflect your creativity and flexibility. As I create a problem in other genres too, especially ones with strong competitive play. Discovering a fun tactic that makes your game memorable is another man's no fair. There's only a matter of time before a foreign war starts. It's exhausting. And that is a good point, right? That is a good point. We've talked about it. We've mentioned this before. How every single time games want to become wars because they want to appeal. You have the two genders here, which is kind of funny. On one hand, you have devs trying to appeal to the general public. That means lobotomizing the game if it's too complex. And on the other hand, you have appealing only to competitive players, which is an extremely small amount of players, and that also kills the game. That was wild back then in League of Legends, for example. I don't know how it is today, and I don't care, not gonna lie. So yes, apparently we're getting dumber as a species. The gamer species. It's bad. It's bad. We can see here. In this app. Oh, that is big. That's a little bit too big. That's okay. I don't know. I really enjoy complexity in games. And to be fair, sometimes games could seem a little bit too complex. So it's hard. It's hard to tell. You also have, as per usual, right? Game journalists being like, "No, this game is too difficult. This game is too hard. It has to be easier." Shut up. If it's not for you, don't play it. Jesus Christ, you're so annoying. But yeah, we should try to strive to think more when we play. Sometimes reactive gameplay is also really fun, but sometimes planning things out is actually really cool too. But that's just my opinion, man. Anyway, what else do we have here? Oh, this thing! This thing is beautiful, this thing is fantastic. I think this is actually really cool. Snowbreak Containment Zone, which is an anime gacha game, right? Voice actors don't want to go back voicing the game because the game is now more focused on fan service. Oh, unlucky. That's it. Let me open this up then. Quick statement from official SEC. Any questions regarding what the future English voiceover in the game? Citizen attempted to contact the voice actors through the English voiceover in the game due to the current improvement state of SEC. However, they refused because the game has changed its direction to fan service. So, at the moment, there is no plan of getting the end up bug. Thank you for understanding. And as some people were saying, this is good. This is good. The dev is doing. The devs, I guess. I don't think this is just a single guy, right? Devs are doing what they want with the game. That is good. They did not kowtow to the EMVA smart lists. What is also extremely funny is that they released some data. I don't think I have that on tap. Let me take a look. Maybe they have it here in the replies. No, I don't think they do. I don't think they do. That is unlucky. That is unlucky. Oh, I think this one is actually interesting. Algorithms, who wants the 50-year-old smoker's voicing characters, which are supposed to be cute? That's a good point. But the thing is, apparently, only less than 5% of players were actually using the E and dub. So this is a huge W for everyone involved. It is fantastic. And you had some people bitching about it. Oh, you don't deserve this. I agree, we don't deserve this. Those clowns. But we have to deal with them. At this here, right? I think you found the event account of one of the voice actors. It's just probably a random guy. It's just probably Schizo, which it is okay. But the meltdown is funny to watch. And here from... Yikes, dog. That is ridiculous. The fuck is this song, though? What is this? What is this I see? I don't recognize this. Private suit. Cool. I'm gonna skip it. I'm just gonna skip it. Sucks to suck, baby. Sucks to suck. Okay, let's see. Where's my stuff? There we go. The disrespect from your waves is fucking unreal. You don't deserve localizations. Learn Japanese if you love your web dev so much, because you can't function if the test isn't in English. Better some pedals, all of you. Having a normal one. Having a normal one here. God damn. Also, yes, I do agree. We don't deserve localizations, because they're fucking terrible. And even if we don't have the English dub, we still have the English subtitles, which are as bad. I still remember. Remember Fantasy Link? That was a peg in the booty. Learn Japanese if you love your web dub so much. It is because we know some Japanese that we understand what you're doing, and it is fucking horrible. Also, we're just calling names here. Understandable. Because Weaves, sure. No one asked Weave, go back to listen to your trash dub. Why do they keep... Okay, hold up. Why do they keep trying to trash on Weave media like, I don't know, anime or anime style games, and they try to work on them? That is weird. Obviously, that's just cultural colonization, which is not good. Trash, they must be mistaking that with boomer GPVAs. JP dubs are fucking awful. God forbidding EMVAs have any self-respect. Are you really gonna tell me that Japanese VAs are bad and English VAs are good? Holy shit, I don't know what this guy is smoking, but it probably should be illegal. We have the imposed twice, because it's getting a lot of traction, I say. I have you waves now that they are the minority. You're not normal. You're not better. You're just rude, racist, pedophilic, sexist, and unleashing everyone who's forced to deal with you. Die. I'm gonna tell you something here. We were happy all along, back in the day, But then, the Normie Nation attacked, and here we are. We don't want these normies, make no mistake about it, but we have to deal with them. The disrespect from your waves is fucking unreal. You didn't deserve localization, so he's just the same again. It doesn't better self you. Most normal redditor, I guess. Jesus Christ. Jesus Christ. It is ridiculous. A type of voice actors and activists. Company shouldn't hire activists. Yes? Yes, I agree. I agree. And obviously, localization is still going wild. Nintendo changes dialogue to confirm Vivian as transgender in Paper Mario, the 1000-Year Door remake. And at first when I saw this I was like, okay, but isn't this supposed to be good, or at least alright? Actually no, I had my facts wrong here. We will get to it, we will get to it. As the review embargo begins to lift for the coming RPG, more and more details are beginning to come to light regarding Nintendo's remake of Paper Mario, the 1000-Year Door, including the fact that it changes the line of dialogue in order to confirm the mustachioed plumber's flame-wielding ally, Vivian, as transgender. Editors note, this article contains minor spoilers. I don't care. You have been warned, but I don't care. Ever since the original Paper Mario, the 1000-Year Door made its debut in 2004, Vivian's exact identity has been a hotly contested topic of debate. This is due to the fact that while always intended as gender non-conforming to some extent, which is true, whether a cross-dresser, an effeminate man, or an outright transgender individual, the game used vague language whenever discussing the topic, thus leaving Nintendo's exact intent for the character unclear. We have here a screenshot from 2004. She's kinda cute, I guess. She? As in the original Japanese release of the game, during her first ever encounter with Mario, Vivian introduces her and her fellow Shadow Sirens as the Shadow Sisters. That is not understanding Japanese culture, unlucky. To which her sister Beldam angrily corrects her that due to Vivian actually being a man, they're actually called the Shadow Trio. Yes, isn't this what they usually call Okama? I might have the wrong word here. What can I say? I only have surface knowledge of gay stuff in Japan, okay? The three sisters will question Vivian. You're a man, aren't you? Given the abrasive nature of Beldam's accusation, many have taken this interaction as evidence that Vivian has always intended to be transgender. Yada yada. Gaijin no Yaro. However, others have come to believe that Vivian is merely a feminine male. This is factual. In theory reinforced by the Japanese version of 2007's Super Paper Mario, which Vivian's catch card is the term otokonoko, typically used for both male to female cross-dressers and extremely feminine boys to describe the ghost. It's just fanboy. It's just fanboy. Okay? Here. Otokoja Nai. Yeah? It's fine, it's probably the cutest of the three. Many such cases, I guess. Notably, in the original game's English localization, Nintendo chose to avoid the topic altogether, with Vivian instead being berated for being ugly rather than transgender. Now you're just lying to me. Introducing her sisters as the Shadow Beauties, another stupid change, Vivian is met by declaration from Beldam. I don't see three beauties, I see two, but there's you and you're black ugly. The fuck? In turn, Vivian apologizes, I guess, explaining Beldam had collectively called them lovelies before, to which her sister responds by brushing the term off as a figure of speech, before continuing to tear into her siblings' looks. I think this is better, but sure, Nintendo, you do you. After threatening to punish Vivian later, Bellum turns her attention back to Mario, clarifying, as they move to attack him, the might of the three Shadow Sirens will be more than enough to win the day. However, thanks to the addition of new lines of dialogue in to the game's script, this uncertainty in regards to Vivian is no longer present in its remake. I think a video review of the title published by Nintendo Live, because of course they did. Confirmation as to Vivian's transgender identity is now provided by the Shadow Siren herself, right before she joins Mario's party, and we need to see if this change is just in the translation or in the original too. Searching for the lost Super Bomb weapon in Twilight Town after being berated into doing so by her sisters, Vivian ends up running into Mario, and the time having lost his body and even name, and accepts his help in locating the item. In turn, Mario not only finds the Super Bomb for her, but also shows her kindness when she discovers that it's broken. And knowing who she is talking to, Vivian responds to Mario's kindness by deciding to help him. And though the hero is initially reluctant to accept her proposal, she insists, and as such eventually joins the party. In the original Japanese version, machine translation by Deep L and Google Translate adjusted, he reasons to Mario, no, don't worry about me, there's nothing good about being together with those ladies anyway. I want to respond to your sweet feelings too. That's interesting, let me have a drink here. Cheers bro, I will drink to that. I should probably blow my nose too, give me a second. Let's see. In the original English localization, oh my god, Vivian simply states that she wants to leave her sisters or pay the kind favor. Hey, that's okay, don't worry about my problems. I'm not sure I really want to stay with my sisters anymore, anyway. And I feel like you need to replay your earlier kindness. It's the right thing to do. Which makes sense. Now, however, Vivian laments, hey, that's okay, don't worry about my problems. I'm not sure I would really want to stay with my sisters anymore anyway. We're very happy together. Truth is, it took me a while to realize I was their sister, not their brother. Now they're usually pulling feels heavier. Why the fuck are you doing this? This is extremely shoehorned. This line is completely changed just for the message. Jesus fucking Christ, this is even worse than what I expected, I'm not gonna lie. Following the reveal of Vivian's transgender status, some fans, by the fans of the character, and similarly the character's original portrait in the Japanese version, are fans of transgender representation in media, that is, clowns, have taken to boasting about and even celebrating the new localization. Others have celebrated with art of Vivian waving or trapped in the transgender pride flag. Fanboy erasure, dude. What the hell? Meanwhile, the critical of the game's new dialogue have been compared to Bellum herself. These people are so fucking stupid, dude. It's so annoying. It is so annoying. I don't understand. I don't understand how someone can be so stupid. How can someone be so stupid, dude? Oh, look! It's too late, Batman! I already drew you as the Sajak and me as the Chad! Therefore, your opinion is invalid. Jesus Christ. Let's see here. This game was such a classic. I'm still leaving it alone to build its fans. They lowered the frame rate, quote-unquote localized it, and made the original version a superior experience that people will now go out of their way to pirate. Pirate? Sure. Games like this already are a hard sell to mainstream audiences, and this isn't helping. That's why I got into emulation, and stay with the original. Many such cases. Many such cases. Oftentimes the original are usually better. It's quite funny. Hey, how you doing, Toast? I'm reading about some stupid stuff here. I need to hire somebody to fix these doors and make them sturdier. Apparently so. Maybe you're just too strong. Maybe you're just too strong. It happens a lot. Also, there are many people complaining here about Nintendo's Treehouse and their absolutely horrible translations, which appears to be the case. Some people have given the example of Fire Emblem and whatnot. I don't know much about it, not gonna lie. But wait, there's more. There's more rainbow shenanigans here. It is kind of wild. It's kind of wild. Here we have, oh boy, Ubisoft again. The gift that keeps on giving. Ubisoft appears to confirm Assassin's Creed Shadows protagonists Yosuke and Naoe are LGBTQ+. Some people have theorized that this is just like, what was the other game? Odyssey? The Great one, I think? Where you can romance anyone you want, which, who cares, honestly. But then you had people molding because now, canonically, they must have kids. So they must have a straight relationship. The thing is, this is not the important part. This is not the important part. There's something really wild inside here. Whew. God damn. Assassin's Creed Shadows developer Ubisoft appeared to confirm that the game's two main protagonists, Yosuke and... she's different now, she's Nayo now, instead of Naoe. It is a typo, I get it. It's still silly. Are LGBTQ+ characters. Sure, engaged in the Sengoku Jidai. As fiction, sure, why not? In a blog post on the company's website published on May 15th, the company declared, knowing Yosuke's disparate personalities also lead them to have different relationships and reports with other characters, and they don't always feel the same way about people, nor do people always feel the same way about them. They said nothing there, Jesus Christ. If they weren't mad about Yosuke being black already, had seen the heels. You see, that is the problem. It's not about him being black. Because Yosuke was an actual guy in Japan at that time. But the argument is, he wasn't actually a samurai. Once again, there's something way more wild here. And I think it's really important to say this. Next, they discussed romance options. Seems strange in an Assassin's Creed game, but maybe I don't really know too much about this. Romantically, they will also attract and be attracted to different types of people. Through the pair, players will get to experience a multitude of relationships. TBH let haters say it. I mean, they do have a point though, they do have a point. Even if it's for bullshit reasons, they do have a point. Because their reasoning is flawed. Because they admitted they needed someone from outside Japan to see Japan, which could be interesting, but that didn't happen in other games. I don't think Japan is so strange and so mystical that you cannot write it. Seems stupid to me. It's just stupid. Also, I'm fully convinced that they making Yasuke one of the main characters is just rage bait. It's just rage bait. They want... I said this the other day already. They just want divided fan bases, because if you have a divided fan base, you have a lot of people talking about the game. Most people I've seen are saying this game is gonna be trash, but they keep talking about it. The same week when Ghost of Tsushima came out on PC, at least. And also, since fan bases are divided, they cannot hold the devs accountable, so they will not make good games. It's just some sort of publicity stunt. People are talking about the game, so I guess that works a little bit at least. This revelation comes amid Ubisoft contracting with Dartmouth's associate professor Sachi Schmidt-Hori. I guess that Hori is in Japanese, but I'm not quite sure. Sachi is an LGBTQ activist with her biography on Dartmouth's website reading, I am interested in investigating how gender, sexuality, corporeality, and power are represented and negotiated in pre-17th century Japanese narratives and illustrations. My first book, Tales of Idolized Boys, Male Love, in Medieval Japan Narratives, from 2021, is on medieval Chigomonogatari. Buddhist acolyte tales, which often depicts romantic relationships between Buddhist priests and adolescent boys. These tales challenge a host of normative and moral standards we, academics especially, internalize, including such ideas as sexual orientation, transgenerational sex, and sexual agency. Why do they have someone that is trying to defend literal pedophilia as a consultant for Assassin's Creed? I've seen some people with some ideas that, okay, but are they gonna make Yosuke a gay pedophile? Shit, I hope not. I hope not. I don't think that is good in any way, shape, or form. But this thing is absolutely wild. It continues. My current project is on the literary representations of milk kinships in pre-17th Japanese tales, including the Tale of Ochikubo, the Tale of Genji, and Tales of the Heike. The website also reveals the classes she teaches, introduction to Japanese culture, languages and scripts of gender, class, and nation, gender, sexuality, and power in pre-modern Japan, classical Japanese language grammar and translation workshop, which seems the most normal, and ASCL 60.26, thinking of contemporary issues in Japan through graphic novels, manga. What? Shouldn't they have someone that knows, like, actual history from the Sengoku Jidai? That makes sense. That would make sense. Once again, Canadian script writers, so it is rough. I've found the official description from the publisher of Tales of Idolized Boys, Male Love, in Medieval Japanese Narratives, University of Hawaii Press, reveals Schmidt-Hori calls for a shift in the hermeneutic strategies applied to Chigo and Chigo Monogatari, and puts forth both a nuanced historization of social constructs such as gender, sexuality, age, and agency, and a mode of reading propelled by curiosity and introspection. On one hand, I understand that, yes, you can study this for historical purposes. On the other hand, I don't think that's what's happening. I don't think so. Early in the description it states, Hori begins by delineating various dimensions of Chigo. Chigo title, personal names, gender, sexuality, class, politics, and religiosity. They show the complexity of this cultural construct. Chigo is a triply liminal figure who is neither male nor female, child nor adult, human nor deity. Sure, let's keep reading though. My reception history of Chigo Monogatari follows, revealing, not surprisingly, that the tales have often been interpreted through cultural paradigms rooted in historical moments and worldviews far removed from the original, from the 1950s to 1980s. Research on Chigo was hindered by widespread homophobic prejudice. I'm gonna go on a limb here. I don't think the prejudice in this case was exactly homophobic. It could be, but I think there's some other stuff here. More recently, aversion to the age gap in historical master-acolyte relations has prevented scholars from analyzing the religious and political messages underlying the genre. I mean, I think that version makes sense. We're not speaking of 30-year-old with 70-year-old. It's going the other way around. Along with tales of idolized boys, male love. I'm not gonna say the full name every single time. His other published works include Yoshitsune and the gender transformations of Japan's self-image, The Erotic Family, Structures and Narratives of Milk Kinship in Pre-Modern Japanese Tales, and The Boy Who Lived, The Transfigurations of Chigu in the medieval Japanese short story Ashibiki. Not like this. Not like this. Not only has the company contracted with this radical LGBTQ+ activist who appears to be promoting transgenerational sex, an alleged internal document shared to social media by Jeremy Hambly, aka The Quartering. Oh man, everyone is here! In April detail, I don't remember seeing this though. We're proud to represent the diversity and inclusion that exists in society as part of our everyday work. Representation is part of our DNA and will remain that way regardless of external pressure or influences. Ah yes. Ah yes. Diversity is our strength. Let's see how that works. And include, USAT firmly stands for diversity and inclusion in our workplace and our games. And we believe there's no room for hate in gaming. Oh, but I love hating. What are we gonna do about it? Let's open this. Let's check this out. It's affecting melting down internally over criticism of their DI efforts. Quadruples down internally. Believable. First we want to make it very clear that we do not accept hate, harassment and other forms of abuse in any way, and we're... I remember seeing this! I remember seeing this! I remember seeing this. This is something that Grams also shared, I think. I remember seeing this, actually. I actually read this on stream, I'm pretty sure. Or something similar, at least. As nothing but Catholic answers, out of fucking nowhere, homosexual behavior is sinful. Every human being is called to receive a gift of divine sonship, to become a child of God by grace. However, to receive this gift, we must reject sin, including homosexual behavior. That is, acts intended to arouse or stimulate a sexual response regarding a person of the same sex. The Catholic Church teaches that such acts are always violations of divine and natural law. Say that to the Pope! He's a commie, so there's also that. I think she needs her hard drive checked. Yes, yes. What a very cleverly worded dog whistle they've created. We can prove what they mean, so we can't attack them. Of course, now their own side will be asking them point blank to declare the protagonists as alphabet folk, so they'll end up hanged with their own rope soon enough. Yeah, I don't think people will be surprised that the playable characters would be some sort of rainbow identity, given Odyssey, after all. But this part about their consultor, it is really weird. It is really weird. Getting actual historians? No. Getting a woman that has been studying pedophilia? Sure, why not? What a strange thing to say. So, before moving on, I will say this. I might be wrong, I will probably be wrong, but Yasuke's gay because he's gonna take it in the ass from Oda Nobunaga. There would be historical reasons to think that, which is funny. Not because he was some sort of kosho or whatever, okay? But because of the heavy rumors of Nobunaga's relation with Moriran Maru. I don't know if it's real, but it would be funny. It would be funny. However, if they were to do that, probably the premise of the game will be extremely homophobic, and they won't allow that. They won't allow that. God damn. This shit is wild. Also, I find it quite funny that nowadays you have, apparently, because I don't even think that's real, many Yasuke fans. But I haven't seen anyone mentioning his appearance in Token Rambu. Maybe because he's a villain? Maybe. He's just a side character though. Except when he becomes a villain. People wouldn't like that. But him becoming a villain makes sense in the context of the incident. They even had Morira Maru as a villain, so it's okay. We have more good news. We have more good news too, which is kind of cool. Stellar Blade turns ancestor outfits following a fun campaign. That's great. That is good. It could be better, but this is positive. This is positive. According to sources on Twitter, Stellar Blade has allegedly brought back the ancestral outfits that were censored in the game's earliest patches. According to industry veteran Mark Kern, our boy Grumps, the old costumes have been returned to the game, and the fan campaign of #FreeStellarBlade is being hailed as a success. And that's cool. We did it, you did it! FreeStellarBlade celebrates its Shift Up and Stellar Blade ancestor outfits. Thank you everyone who participated in the 80-step plan and the petition. Thank you at Jan 3rd for listening to gamers. Gotta be one of the devs, I guess. Please send the petition, which will now be sent as a gift to Mama. We don't care too much about it. Shortly after the game launched, fans noticed some differences between 3 different versions of the game: the physical release, the early digital release given to reviewers, and the Day 1 patch. Also the demo. It was different than the demo too. What followed a series of events that left fans confused as to why and when some outfits were censored. What happened was that the game was censored after being printed. The early patch hidden review copies of the game before it even launched. This led to confusion as users reported the changed outfits, but then erroneously pointed to earlier review footage as the proof it wasn't censored. It was wild. People didn't know what they were talking about, and it showed. Shift Up eventually acknowledged the censorship and claimed that it was a result of their own decisions, which no one believes, because Sony has a track record of doing this shit. Well, it's possible this is true due to Sony's history of draconian censorship. Look at that. Many fans assume that Shift Up was compelled to make and defend changes by the platform holder. And given the Helldivers debacle, it seems possible. It seems really possible. Apparently, the comments in the original tweet thread, this quote-unquote victory isn't an actual revision, but instead the ancestral costumes have been brought back as additional outfits. More options, always good. This means the censored costumes will remain in the game. Okay, as long as you have the original ones, that's not a problem. While it's true that the game has been altered due to the censorship, at the end of the day, more content and choices are now available, and original content has been restored. There's a W. There's not in the way it was in the unpatched release. And that is fine. This is not a perfect W though, because we can see here. Once again from Grumps. Okay, so I had the story on the Kunoichi outfit for Stellar Blade. Edit, it was not available to unlock in original patch version, and nobody knew about it until today. We will have to unlock it today, then unpatch it to see the version on the left. That is so convoluted. This wasn't promised and then censored. Nobody knew about it until today. The new unlock today's patch looks like the one on the right. Also, I think the one on the right looks better, but what do you think? And the original one had more transparency. That's just the gist of it. It's still censorship, kinda, I guess. We can take some W sometimes. It's not that different. To be fair, it's not that different. It's really noticeable here in the chest, but it's working. It's working. Stellar Blade is working, so that's really good. The one on the right is less transparent, but it looks like they removed something. Maybe it could be the case too. The pattern seems to be really faded in this one, so that could be the case. That could be the case. Again, this wasn't known about or available until today. This is not something that was promised and then changed, which is true. People are gonna disagree on this one, but that's my opinion. Still need to take a look. Need to be vigilant about that because they love changing stuff. And I think I have the final thing for today. Let me take a look here. Really quick, okay. Alright. Alright. I found this today and I think it's extremely stupid. It makes no sense to me. It shouldn't make sense to anyone, but let me have a drink first. Boop, boop. Why did that change? What the hell? That doesn't make any sense. There we go. That was weird. Boop. There we go. Unreal Engine coding standards require video game studios to use inclusive language in programming and documentation. Makes no fucking sense. It makes no fucking sense. This comes from Epic Games of all places, which is wild. And then people wonder why gamers don't like Epic. Well, when they say propaganda machine, sometimes they're not wrong, okay? In proving that identity politics have quite literally seeped into the very DNA of video games, Epic Games has taken to encouraging developers who use their popular Unreal Engine to employ inclusive language in their respective titles' programming codes. It's not encouraging, it's actually mandatory. First added to the engine's official coding standards with the April 2022 release of the tool's 5th version, and recently brought to light courtesy of its April 2024 update, this new inclusive word choice clause says Epic Games encourage a curious word choice given that they consider the following of said standards to be mandatory by their own words. Users to use respectful, inclusive, and professional language when writing or documenting a given piece of code. Respectful? Professional? Sure. Inclusive? What the fuck do you mean by this? It's just clan behavior. We will get to that. Word choice applies when you name classes, functions, data structures, types, variables, files, and folders, and plugins. Explains Epic Games. It applies when you write snippets of user-facing text for the UI, error messages, and notifications. It also applies when writing about code, such as in comments and change list descriptions. Look, obviously, if you're writing something for the UI, something that the user is gonna see, you need to be professional about it. It's nothing new. It's nothing new. Why does it matter when we're speaking about classes, functions, data structures, types, variables? I could even understand files, folders, and plugins to some extent, because the user can potentially see those. But this? It makes no sense. To this end, Epic Games then provided guidance as to what words devs should and should not use in their writing. Do not use metaphors or similes that reinforce stereotypes. Examples include contrast, black and white, or blacklist and whitelist. Do you understand that blacklist doesn't refer to black people, right? They probably don't. Well, maybe they do and they're just being disingenuous. That's a real possibility here. Do not use words that refer to historical trauma or lived experiences of discrimination. Examples include slave, master, and nuke. Do you understand when we're talking about master in programming? We're not talking about slavery, right? You're going to have even if you don't like it. When you're programming, you're going to have hierarchy. It's unavoidable. It's an integral part of programming. It is. It is kind of ridiculous. It is kind of ridiculous. Turning to gender-related language, Epic Game advises devs to refer to hypothetical people as they, them, and their, and even in the singular, and anything that is not a person as it and its. For example, a module, plugin, function, client, server, or any other software or hardware component. If you're gonna get bitchy about this, I'm gonna call everything it. It's just a thing. At the end of the day, everything is just a thing. Further, users are asked not to assign a gender to anything that doesn't have one. Or just collective nouns like guys that assume gender. No one uses guys like it's gender language nowadays. What do you mean? Guys just mean people. Guys just mean people nowadays. And I would say it's better to say hey guys than hey people. What do you mean hey people? I don't know. It's just that could be just me. Also take care to avoid colloquial phrases that contain arbitrary genders like a poor man's eggs. God forbid we casually communicate with our co-workers. Jesus Christ. Regarding slang, the standards call on devs to remember that your words are being read by a global audience. What do you mean global audience when we're talking about function, verbals, and classes, you stupid clown? That may not share the same idioms and attitudes, and who might not understand the same cultural references. And thus aim to avoid slang and colloquialisms, even if you think they're funny or harmless. Oh, words. They hurt me so bad, mommy. Particularly as this may be hard to understand for people whose first language isn't English and might not translate well. Ain't that your fucking problem? If you don't speak English, that's your fucking problem. Just learn it. If there is not a translation, you'll have to learn the language. It has always been the case. They're being so backwards, I don't understand. And of course, devs also want to not use profanity. That's the only reasonable thing they have said. Jesus Christ, I don't know English anymore. Continuing, the standards next ask real engine users to be conscious of their use of overloaded words, as many terms that we use for their technical meanings also have other meanings outside of technology. Did you know that many words have several meanings? Does that mean that we cannot use them because people are so fucking stupid that they cannot understand the context of the word being said? They're just making people even more retarded. What the hell is happening? I don't understand. And people wonder why I hate China. Examples include abort, execute, or native. But those are important. Those are important to use. They have obvious meanings in this context. Stop it. Just stop it. The detail. When you use words like this, always be precise and examine the context in which they appear. What the fuck? What the fuck, dude? People understand the context. It is you are trying to take out the context from the equation because you don't like them because, oh no, abort, no, the baby. Execute, no, you're killing people. Native, I don't even know how native can be bad. Just means that you were born in a place. China, China, China. All my depression is in China. Finally, The inclusive word choice clause closes out with a list of some terminology that Epic Games believes should be replaced with better alternatives. Said terminology includes blacklist. Alternatives listed include denial list, blacklist, exclude list, avoid list, unapproved list, forbidden list, and permission list. The thing is, everyone understands what a blacklist is, and it's short and concise, so it's okay. Whitelist, allow list, include list, trust list, safe list, prefer list, approve list, and permission list. How the fuck are you going to differentiate blacklist and whitelist if you call them both permission lists? That doesn't make any sense. Blacklist and whitelist are actually different things that do similar things. They do similar stuff, but they're different. Master, primary, source, controller, template, reference, main, leader, original, and base. And this is a massive problem. And this is a fucking massive problem. Let me tell you why. Master is important. And the thing is, most of these alternatives given will be specific words used by the programming language for specific stuff, so that's gonna be a problem. Main is something specific. It's not necessarily a master. The main in Java is something specific. You keep using stuff like reference. Reference in Java is something specific. Pretty sure base in Java is something specific too. I am not quite sure about the source. It could be. The others, they could or maybe not, but makes no sense to me. And a slave. Secondary, replicate agent, follower, worker, cluster node, locked, linked, and synchronized. Which had different meanings altogether. They had different meanings altogether. Some people were saying this is just someone that had to justify their presence in the company. It's just ridiculous. It's just ridiculous. Ultimately, Epic Games closes out the text of this new standard by assuring the public that they are actively working to bring our code in line with the principles laid out above. No. Just make code that works. Just make something that works. It's just that easy. I can see the comments here. One person is typing. I'm looking at you. I'm looking at you typing. I was always laughed at for railing against stuff like this in everyday life. So-called small things that didn't matter. What people fail to grasp is that wokesters start small. They change things in little ways at first, testing the waters and preparing it for further changes down the road. And they increasingly demand more and more, soon progressing to the level of demanding that everybody else participate in their shared denial of reality or face the consequences. And that's pretty much it. If this was some sort of a standard for official text, sure. For coding of all things? Fuck off, dude. Fuck off. Just shut the hell up. People should have seen the amount of shenanigans we got to coding back in the day. It was not long ago. Except back in the day like it was the 80s. Scientists die when they start refusing to accept reality. When they start acting like the real world and real knowledge doesn't affect them. Their feelings are more real than actual reality. Let them eat cake. It's a great example of the refusal to accept reality, with the consequences plain to see. There are other examples all throughout history of this nonsense attitude and the consequences of it. We're getting to the point in the West now that with changing history, changing language, ignoring basic knowledge and reality like biology and such, very soon now things are going to tumble as a result of this attitude. I could argue things are already tumbling, to be honest. They have been for a while. But the longer this nonsense is tolerated, the faster the tumble will be. And the harder to stop at the end will be. Yeah. Oh, yes. I like this one. This is a major self-report. The source code of the game and its documentation should only be visible by the developers of the game unless, of course, Epic demands access to them. Which is absurd. It's probably some sort of breach too of contract. Depends on the contract, I guess, but it could be a breach of contract. When we get into the UI and all the user-facing tags that they demand to control what language is in the game. Most Epic are Chinese owned, so you shouldn't use their products in the first place. I agree, fuck Epic. I don't like them. I don't like them. And it is wild. It is wild. Why the fuck do you care about the language you use in programming? Because they want to get inside your ass. It's so bad, so annoying. It's so annoying. Do you remember live and let live? No. It's live, but just how I tell you. That's how you must live. It is the only way. You have to follow the words. You have to follow the words of the masters. It's absolutely wild. But maybe like this, people will stop using Epic stuff. People will stop putting their games in the Epic Store because this is what they will require after all. It is annoying, man, it's bad, it's just a peg in the booty. We get some W sometimes, but holy shit, the L's are fucking massive. Anyway, I think it's time for me to get the hell out of here. So, thank you for coming. Hope you had some fun here with the weekly shenanigans. Some good, some bad, it's okay, it's a thing, I guess. And yeah, we'll come back on Monday as per usual. Maybe some more Sandland. That game was fun. Maybe something else. I have some time to decide. We'll see. But yeah, thank you for coming. I will see you soon. And until then, take care.